My dear brothers and sisters in Christ Jesus, today we look at Jesus in the Gospel of John. Now, this particular incident happened after Jesus brought Lazarus back from the dead. But strangely enough, there's no particular reference to that great miracle. Jesus was sitting and eating with his disciples, with Lazarus, with Martha and Mary. But Jesus does not speak about or even reiterate what God did through him. He's not giving himself any glory for the miracle of bringing Lazarus back. He's just fellowshipping with his disciples. The others, of course, were speaking about the miracle, discussing the miracle, but Jesus had only one thing on his mind: his Father and his Father's will. Is it any wonder then that the book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verses 1 to 7 says that God's soul delights in him, delights in Jesus? The Father and the Son were in deep communion. The love relationship between them was such that God the Father was all that Jesus wanted. He didn't want miracles. He didn't look for recognition. Everything was added unto Jesus because he wanted just one thing: his Father's will. And then again, in the Gospel of John, Jesus sits among his disciples, of course, and offers himself to be washed by Mary. And if you look at what he did on the cross, he does the same thing on the cross and through his passion. He offers himself in the same way that he offered himself to Mary. He offered himself on the cross to be crucified. That's the amazing part about Jesus. Whether he offered himself to Mary so that she can worship him, or he offered himself on the cross when it was an act of hate by the Jews, he gave freely of himself. It's a little scary to think about this, but Jesus never differentiated surrender, which means he never surrendered to the Father's will only when it was convenient for him. He surrendered at all times. He did not stop Mary from worshipping him, and neither did he stop the Jews from killing him. Today, brothers and sisters, we're at crossroads in our lives. Many times we want people to know that Jesus is in our lives more from a selfish perspective than from a Jesus perspective. We somehow secretly want success to be a big part of Jesus' plan for us, without us really asking him what his will is for us. Now, brothers and sisters, Jesus' earthly success, his healing, his deliverance, where did it lead him? It led him to the cross, to the Father's will. Where do we want to go? The cross or convenience? Has our surrender reached a place where we're giving in to the Father's will completely? Are we worshipping Jesus like Mary did? Or are we killing Jesus through our actions like the Jews did? Are we imitating Jesus in his surrender? Or are we following a spirituality of convenience, where we surrender only when we see some sort of gain in it, or only when we're cornered by the world and we just don't have a choice? Brothers and sisters, let us examine our hearts today and follow Jesus. Have a blessed and Jesus-filled